I have been vegan and vegetarian most of my life, my entire life. My mother raised us with that kind of food. We had gardens everywhere we lived when we were growing up, and so my entire life I have been mostly vegan or vegetarian. That was very, very recent. I did 9 months of a ketogenic diet. I had found a piece of research that today I believe is bogus, and I went at it in thinking about my clients. I had many people who were wanting to see change in their lives immediately, and I thought perhaps this was something to try short term. I went ketogenic, or mostly ketogenic, for a good part of a 9-month period, and the vitality I had my entire life disappeared. Over time it disappeared. I didn't have energy. I had the energy of 3 people most of the time I was in my adult life, and in those 9 months my vitality went down so far that it was actually quite scary. I started to have conditions I'd never had my whole life. Skin conditions that showed up, like on the top of my head, on my legs, dryness. I could not get hydrated. In the healing process, since I quit doing ketogenic and made a decision to really turn against that path, I have had a hard time hydrating. An eczema condition on my legs, and the same with my head. Under my hair and on my scalp was an extreme condition of dryness that had ulcerated places where it was very uncomfortable and very, literally I was exuding the stuff from the ketogenic diet. In a vegetarian and vegan diet, there is so much water in everything that you eat that you become hydrated simply from eating plant food. When you go to a ketogenic diet where the limitation of how much you eat of produce is so small, carbs are produce, they're the same. So it's not just giving up breads and other things that people think of as carbs, like pastas and breads, but it's also giving up literally the plant food that I was living on most of my life and limiting it so greatly that I wasn't getting hydrated. So how long have you been back on a vegan diet? I have been back on a vegan diet for 4 months solidly, and prior to that I was working at incorporating produce into my diet again. I don't look the same as I did 6 months ago. In rapid progression, month to month, people say, it doesn't even look like what you looked like a month ago. The changes in my appearance were loss of weight, loss of inflammation. I had inflamed literally all through my face. Swollen. I was swollen all through my body, to the point where even my features of my face were being covered up by this inflammation from the effects of the ketogenic diet. I'm starting to get my vitality back. It's not entirely there, but it's so much more that I'm able to do more, not have to rest constantly. I started doing something I'd never done my whole adult life, which was to literally take breaks and have to get seated in between activities. That would be wonderful. Water is life. I'm eating a diet that is primarily fruits and vegetables. I do some beans, I do some grain, but very little compared to the amount of produce I'm eating. Produce means fruits and vegetables you get from a garden or a farm.